This is one of my favorite side dishes at any Puerto Rican party. My version of Puerto Rican style macaroni salad. Let me show you how I do it. Since it's just a few of us, I'm making a half portion. So I have about half of this box of Barilla protein pasta. You could use any elbow macaroni you like. I just prefer to use the protein pasta. I boiled my pasta in a little bit of salted water and I'm adding just a little bit of adobo, some onion powder. I like to season the pasta directly. I feel like it definitely makes a difference in the flavor. Some garlic powder, black pepper, paprika. And this is not traditional, but I learned this from a family member and it is, I haven't looked back since. Some Mrs. Dash. My pasta is still nice and warm. I did run it under a little bit of cold water just so that it stops cooking, but it's still nice and warm, so it's gonna absorb all of those flavors. In here, I have a half of a small green bell pepper and a quarter of a large red bell pepper. Nice and chopped up, really, really small. I'm gonna throw that in there. Some people like to put onions in their macaroni salad. I do not prefer it that way. Remember that I'm making a small portion, so my measurements are gonna equal that. You can definitely double and triple and quadruple this to make bigger portions. When it comes to spices too, you gotta measure with your heart. Make sure that you're tasting as you go. Just take it easy on the salt. You can always add as much of the other seasonings as you want to. Just be careful with the salt because you don't want it to be too salty because we are putting mayonnaise in this. Another reason you gotta take it easy on the salt, I'm using Spam. I have about half, maybe a little bit more than half of a can of Spam. You could use regular ham if you want to. You could use turkey ham, you could use turkey Spam. I like regular Spam. This is what my family has always used, so I'm gonna put that in there. I just diced it up nice and small. Look how pretty that looks. This is definitely an eyeball type of thing. You put as much or as little mayonnaise as you prefer. To this, I'm also gonna add the tiniest bit of yellow mustard. I'm not a huge fan of yellow mustard, to be honest, but I feel like it definitely does give it a flavor that it just needs, you know? Look at how tiny that little splash is. You could definitely put more mustard if you are a big fan of mustard and you want it to have like that mustardy taste. I just personally want like essence of mustard. Little background notes of mustard. I definitely think that's a good amount of mayonnaise for me. I put about a cup, maybe a little less. We sealed those spices onto that pasta and now we're gonna put a little bit over top of the mayonnaise. Some more Mrs. Dash, some more paprika, a little bit more black pepper. Taste as you go for seasoning purposes. I'm gonna put a little bit more adobo. And I put a little bit more mayonnaise because what happens is that as it sits in the fridge, the pasta actually absorbs a lot of that mayonnaise and it'll dry up. So it's okay if it looks a little bit more moist before it goes in the fridge. And that's it. Look at how delicious that looks. And it took me maybe 15 minutes to put it all together, including the boiling time. I'm gonna add a little bit of paprika over the top just to make it look pretty in the bowl. And there she is, looking absolutely stunning. She is best served after a few hours in the fridge, nice and cold.